Welcome to BoomCast Explosive News Weekly. I'm Thomas, and this is Trent.
It's the BoomCast. We're back.
Back for episode 3. Episode 2 and episode 1 are still fresh on my mind. I had a good time discussing those articles with you, Trent.
Oh, they're really, we really want to give the audience something to think about, and I think we do that really well. We do really
every
well.
week. Just, again, some fun facts, something you can talk about at the bar.
Day in and day out, we make people think, and that's all we're here for. You know what? We're put on this planet to make people think, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, thoughtful candor. Isn't that right?
Those are big words.
Thoughtful and candor. The biggest.
Oh, candor's a big word.
Candor. Okay, well, so let's kick this off. First article of today has to do with the company which I know everybody knows about, Lego. They built a life... What?
Lego?
Pardon? Lego. They built a life-size drivable Bugatti with over 1 million pieces.
It was actually to spec the same size as a regular Bugatti?
It is to spec. It is a life-size 1-to-1 Bugatti. I'm actually pretty sure they drove it. Yeah, they drove it. Very briefly.
I bet you a real Bugatti, that thing costs way more than the actual Bugatti because you know how expensive Legos are. There's no way that thing didn't cost more.
Well, and think of all the manpower that it took. Okay, it took 13,005 hours to complete.
13,000? How many people worked on it?
13,000. I don't know if they told me.
Just man hours.
13,000 hours of working on it. It weighs 1.5 ton.
That's got to be more heavy than normal, right? I would think.
I don't know. I don't think a car. Well, a ton is 1,000 pounds, right?
I don't know. I'm not that big of a car guy. I'm not that big of a Bugatti guy either. But
so it hit. Yeah. So the actual Bugatti can go 250 plus miles per hour at top speed. The Lego. You want to guess how fast the Lego Bugatti was able to get to? Any guesses, audience?
Can it go 35 maybe?
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
13 miles per hour.
13?
It made it 13, which is still impressive. I mean, think about it.
All that work for 13 miles an hour?
It's a full operational Bugatti piece made out of Legos.
So obviously they're not putting Lego bricks that are gasoline in there and making it run off Lego brick gasoline. There's obviously got to be some kind of piece in there.
Yeah, so
they can't just have Legos do combustion of the machine, of the engine.
Yeah, you're right. They did use some 3D printed parts, probably for the gas.
But it's like majority of it's Legos.
The build is the outside is 100% Lego.
Fair enough.
It's steel framed, but.
So they started with a steel frame and they built the Legos around it.
Yeah, but the steel frame wasn't necessarily it was hollow, so they had to fill it in with Legos.
Yeah. Right.
Detachable steering wheel.
Here's a good question. Here's an excellent question.
Oh, here we go. So, anyone thinking of doing this? It says a retail price of $30 each. The motor alone would cost you $70,000.
Just the motors?
Yeah.
And then that's with no Lego pieces. So the Lego pieces are the real commodity there, because as we all know, the Legos are ridiculously expensive, and so I think with that it would still be way more than whatever Bugattis cost. Probably $2 million. I don't know. I'm not doing the math on that.
They don't make Bugattis.
I'm not doing the math on that.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. I made a lot of Legos in my day, but not life-size Bugattis.
That. You didn't make a Bugatti as a kid?
I never. No. I made some.
A fun fact: the first Apollo space shuttle was made out of Legos.
Oh yeah.
Back in the.
Yeah, tell me a little more about that.
Oh, because the moon landing was a hoax, and so they had to make it look as realistic as possible. Oh. And so what they did was they put a green screen in the background, and they built the shuttle and the rover and the lander and everything out of Legos. And that's actually how the company began. Charles C. Lego that's how he started.
Oh, okay, yeah. We're gonna make sure to fact check that.
Oh, you can, but it's true. You can, it's fine. I'm not against
We
fact
need a
checking.
disclaimer.
I'm all
90% of what Trent says is not true.
Yeah, but it's an interesting thought. It gets your brain going. It's like Legos. You can build a car, you can build a space shuttle.
We're gonna have a few people like, wow, I never knew that, and they're gonna stop listening to the podcast, and they're gonna go out and hang out with people, or talk to their parents or something, and give them that Robert C. Lego created the rover out of Legos. So, again, that is not true.
So I think about this, and I have there's a specific question that I want to ask.
Yeah.
And it's why.
Why?
Why?
Well, Lego makes a lot of money, and they have nothing else to do. It was a passion project.
It was a passion
amongst
project.
The Legos creative team, and a promo to show off at the Italian Grand Prix. So it was like marketing.
Wait, I'm gonna kind of derail this and go and kind of hone in on one topic.
Yeah.
Lego has a creative team.
Of course. How do you think they designed?
This just like the people who played Legos really well as a kid? They just kind of grew up to be Lego creative team members?
Yeah, I mean, probably some of them.
Well, I missed the boat on that.
That sounds like a dream job. Give me a second.
Was there like an internship to build Legos that I missed?
Well, they don't build the Legos. They design the Legos.
They think of things to build, right? Like a Bugatti.
No, they have.
That's literally what I did.
No, but then they have to do all the measurements
They walk into the interview. Yeah, I have like 10 years of experience as that Lego creative team member.
It's probably an engineering position. It's like mechanical engineering.
Probably. Oh, I bet it is. But I still think that's funny. I think that's like literally just building Legos as a kid.
They probably have a giant pit of Legos and they just like build shit. And they're like, oh my god, I got one. Let's charge $80 for it.
Their office is just a blanket with Legos on it. They walk in and they have to build something.
Yeah, and they have everybody's really like afraid of stepping on them.
Yeah, no, they have to wear like fucking metal flip-flops.
Their top secrets are stored in a vault that just has Legos all around. That's their only security system.
Yeah. Dude, I would get 90% of the population to stop.
Have you ever stepped on a Lego? It hurts.
Have I ever stepped on a Lego? Of course.
Yeah, have you not?
Lego. Have I ever gotten shot? No, but I'm sure it's a similar feeling.
I'm sure it's a very similar sensation. So you can pretty much tell people you've been shot. That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. I think that was, but before waterboarding was big, I think that's what we did. We just kind of blindfolded the terrorists we captured and made them run across a blanket of Legos.
Yeah, I see that. That would work pretty well.
That's how we found all those WMDs in Iraq.
Oh yeah.
Because of Legos. Torture. When Charles was first founding these Lego pieces, when he first found the company, he did not think it would be used for that, and I think he'd be proud to know that it was used for anti-terrorism tactics.
Sure. Well, we'll send him a letter. From BoomCast.
He's dead, man.
Oh.
If any Lego creative team members out here listening, please feel free to chime in and tell us what you actually do, because I still think you guys just sit there crisscross applesauce and play with Legos all day.
Better watch out.
A little bit of a tangent, but I digress.
Top 5 favorite. You used Legos growing up, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Top 5 favorite Lego sets that you had or built.
Oh, okay.
That's
a good one.
Them.
So I think I can think of them, but it's going to be a little bit hard because, as some of you may know, I'm a huge Star Wars guy.
I have a good Lego story for you. I have a good Lego story. So let's
Can I do my list first, or are you going to butt into me again?
No. Fuck you.
Anyway, so in any case, my top 5 Legos are going to all be Star Wars related.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
So ships.
Well, we'll get into it. So number 5. Let me get my list together in my head here. This is just off the top of my head.
Is 5 the bottom of the list?
5's the bottom. Yeah, always 5's the bottom. One's the best.
1. One's the best.
5 to 1. One's the best. Wait, 5 to 1. One's the best.
Yeah.
Number 5. I'm gonna have to go with the traditional Millennium Falcon.
Falcon.
There are viewers. The Millennial Falcon and the Gen Z Falcon are two different things. But the Millennium Falcon, they released a very large one just not too long ago that one of our good buddies has.
Yep.
And he built, but I didn't have that one. I had one of the older ones, and that was a good one.
The one you could carry pretty easily.
Yeah. Not yep. This new one. This new one's insane. If you haven't ever seen it, it's
look it up.
Expensive. I think at the time, I'm not sure if it still is, but it was the biggest set that they have.
I think it was one of them. I think the giant one.
Yeah.
I think it is the biggest set.
I think so too.
Right now.
But in any case, the older one was it's classic. The Millennium Falcon is one of the most weird Star Wars spaceships.
It's a good one
in the universe.
So you built it. You finished building it.
I did, and that was one of the first ones I got, and so I didn't build it all myself. I had to have parents help for that.
It was tricky when you were like 9.
Yeah, and those things are big. I mean, I didn't start out. I never really liked the small sizes ones. Yeah, exactly. And I started getting Legos at least 8 or 9 years old, so I definitely wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But in any case, that's 5. Coming at number 4. Number 4, I would have to go with a standard TIE fighter. From Star Wars.
That's a good one. I like TIE fighters.
I'm not going to explain what these things are if you don't know them, because I'm just not going to do it. But in any case, TIE fighter is a good one. I like, it's a unique piece because there's flat, and it's one of those not very stable ones too. You have to be careful moving around because the wings will come off really fast if you grip it the wrong way. That's what she said. But anyway, in any case, that was a tough build too, but that was also one of my first ones as well. Yep. That was number 4. Number 3, this was a good one. Number 3 was I had Anakin's pod racer from Episode 1 of Star Wars, and that one.
Ooh, pod racing. That was my favorite scene.
That one was really cool.
Good scene.
Because
scene.
we'll have Star Wars talks later, but I really enjoyed Episode 1. I know that's a hot take.
Hot take.
But the pod racer was really fun, and I really enjoyed that pod racing scene too. And so that was really interesting to me.
Okay.
So number 2 and number 1. We'll start with number 2. Number 2, I got the Star Destroyer Lego set.
Yeah.
And so this one was by and large the biggest one I ever had.
Was it?
I got this one.
Did you have to hang it?
Didn't have to hang it, but you really couldn't move it. Right. You really couldn't move it. I ended up having to when we moved around. I ended up having to tear it and break it up a little bit. Yeah, but it's fun because you get to build it again, and that's more than half the fun of it.
Not that fun.
Oh, it's true Lego people enjoy the build.
You telling me I'm not a true Lego person?
Apparently,
I'm not a real Lego person.
I guess not.
Alright.
But anyway, number 1 overall, and this is my favorite Star Wars vehicle in general, and it's the AT-AT Walker, the all-terrain armored transport. Just because it's a very large Lego set, and it's my favorite Star Wars vehicle. That we'll have that list later as far as Star Wars goes. But in any case, and that was the first big set of Legos that I built by myself, and I was extremely proud of myself, and that really made me the man I am today. So
wow.
I can thank that Lego set.
Taught you a lot of life lessons,
allowing me to be responsible. Yeah,
sure.
Responsible for myself and my actions.
Sweet.
There you go.
Good list. I know they're all Star Wars, but pretty good.
Sorry. Yes, I apologize in advance, but I can't help it. That's the only Legos I had.
Yeah, I had a lot of Star Wars Legos. So my story.
Yes, let's hear it.
It's about the Millennium Falcon, the same set that you successfully built.
Okay.
So I got it. I think I was 9, and it was the biggest Lego set I ever had. And I set up like a little station in the living room at my mom's house, behind the couch, on the ground. I set out like a blanket, and it was put out all the pieces out. I organized it all. Started building it. It took me a while. Like I ended up getting sidetracked. I did other things during the day, and so I had it for about 6 months probably, and I was halfway through it after about 6 months, just because I wasn't spending very much time on it.
Yeah.
And then I decide one day that I need to finish it, so I sit down and for I don't know, maybe 2 days, I just go to town, right? And I have a friend over with me at my house. Again, I'm 9, and his mom's there, and my mom's there, of course. And I'm putting the last piece on it, right? It's all done, and the last piece is like this little gunner thing at the top. And you remember those just those gray bars Lego pieces. They're just those little round gray
Yeah.
cylinder, and you just stick them into the little holes, and it like looks like a gun or whatever. So there was 4 on this little gun piece. So I was putting the last one in, and it fell underneath the Millennium Falcon, and so I picked it up just very gently, and it just broke into 4 or 5 pieces. And I just started crying. Just ran outside and just started crying so hard. And my friend was like next to me trying to console me, but 9-year-olds don't know what the fuck to do. And so so then we ended up all going out to dinner, and that made me feel better. But it took me like 7 months to build, and the minute I was done, it broke.
Oh my god.
Bummer. I'm sure I think I've probably told you that story before.
That sounds like a lot of your procrastination stories, Just it doesn't have to be Legos in general. Just you procrastinate.
That I procrastinate and then I do, and then it breaks. I don't think so.
They fail miserably.
You know nothing.
That was a good story, though. It's a good story.
Thank you. Yeah, 9-year-old Tom is breaking Legos, but anyway. So we're gonna transition into the next article. And this a little not necessarily related to building things or Legos, but Xbox released Xbox All Access, which allows you to like rent an Xbox part-time. So you can rent the console, and then you can rent. I guess you can you can use up to 100 games. So there's like 100 games available right now. I think this is how that works. I'm pretty sure you can get a console.
Is it through? It's through Microsoft themselves.
Yeah, they do it.
Or is it a third party?
No, it's through Microsoft. Microsoft is doing it. Yeah, so Xbox All Access gets you a new Xbox One S or Xbox One X, access to more than 100 great games through Xbox Game Pass, and online multiplayer with Xbox Live Gold. Wow, that's actually a pretty good deal.
So yeah, because I know about their Game Pass, which it's like most of their popular games. You pay a subscription fee for it, and then the Gold subscription, obviously. But then, so this actually includes
so
Xbox.
It's like $300 for an Xbox now, plus $5 to $10 a month for Xbox Gold. So this is $21.99 per month. No interest, no upfront costs. You get it looks like you get 24 months of Xbox Live. I don't know what happens after that.
So,
anyway, I think it's really cool. I mean, people who don't want to drop a bunch of money and maybe try out the Xbox can do that.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. That's not that much money. That's not that much more money than just having the Game Pass. And so if you're somebody who's just doesn't have an Xbox already, then I don't see why you wouldn't do that.
Problem is,
but I think that's a problem. I think there's not a lot of people that don't have an Xbox already.
Right.
I
think
the
new, younger kids maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think that this would be a great idea if they released it like right as their next console came out when nobody has it.
Yeah.
If they're trying to bump their like people playing the games.
Yeah.
Because at this point, the amount of people that don't have an Xbox or want to, if you don't have an Xbox by this point, you probably don't want one. They've been out for so long. I don't know if there's a lot of people that like they wanted an Xbox, just haven't got it yet. It's been out for several years now.
Right.
So I think if they did this with their next console,
2015.
Yeah, and so if they did this with their next console,
2013,
it might make more sense.
What do you think their next console is going to be called? Xbox 2?
Yeah. Why?
Xbox,
It's going to be called
Infinity
2.
or some shit like
How
that.
How stupid was that?
Yeah,
I think the Xbox 720 would have been a
720.
sick name.
Yeah,
That would have been the sickest name.
It's easier to say, like, hey, you playing 720? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, hey, you
Xbox
playing
One?
the one? You're like, which one?
You on Xbox One? Which one?
You on the one?
No, that one. That
On
one.
the one? Yeah, I agree. It's stupid. The dumbest.
But I kind of like the idea. I don't know if this is kind of related, but there's a new subscription service out called Shadow Tech or Shadow or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically a group of PCs on a server, and what you do is you pay, I don't know how much money, it was like $35 a month, and you get to rent usage of that PC, and it basically you get to VPN into that CPU. Only you get to do that, and it's basically a high-powered CPU that has like a 1080 graphics card and all like the upgraded stuff.
So you can VPN and then you can access the usage even though it's remote.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's a specific server dedicated to you, and you pay 35. I think it's like $35 a month, and you get to use that from anywhere. And that's what they were saying. You could VPN from that's how the standard.
So you can pretty
VPN
much
process.
supercharge your laptop.
Yeah, and you could do it from I think they said mobile devices and all kinds of shit. I saw that the other day. I've been seeing it on Twitch ads, and it sounds really interesting, but it's the same kind of idea. The whole subscription thing is just taking everything by storm. Nobody wants to actually own anything.
That's the whole Silicon Valley right now.
Nobody wants to own anything anymore. They just want to rent it.
It makes sense for companies to do that. They make so much more money. Like think of like Photoshop. Remember, you'd pay like $800 and then you'd have it, right?
Get it forever.
But now you can pay $30 or even less, $10 a month for like the lowest end one. But let's just say you have it, you use it for 10 years. I guess it constantly paying the same amount. So,
but see, that's the thing. They usually update their software and you get that along with it. Like with Microsoft, they switched from a straight pay platform to a subscription platform, and then you pay yearly, I think, and you get the upgrades whenever they happen. So
subscription.
It's happening everywhere, and this is just the next thing.
Think about MoviePass. They were subscription based movie going experience, and now all the movie theaters are doing that kind of thing.
Yep.
Even though
everybody's
totally
trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Although they failed miserably, but how's that doing? I quit my movie.
Oh,
pass
it's done. Yeah, I quit mine.
They done?
I'm on Cinemark Connections. We need a gong to ring the plug.
Number one, connections to internet for movie theaters. Cinemark
great.
Connections.
Cinemark Connections is great if you have a lot of
CinemarkConnections.com.
Sorry, I totally interrupted your ad. My fault.
Oh, they didn't pay me for it anyway. So.
I know, shit. Excuse me, Cinemark. Actually, knowing Cinemark, they're going to charge us to use their name.
Yep, Cinemark Connections.
Download it today. One free ticket.
Download the free app today, Cinemark Connections. Anyway, subscriptions are really, it's just surprising to me how fast they've gotten into things that I didn't think they would get into. Like renting an Xbox. Like I didn't think that.
Never thought that would happen.
And renting high-powered PCs.
I feel like
it must make sense.
Yeah.
It must make sense, I guess. I don't know. For some reason it makes sense to do that.
I'm waiting for some sort of storefront to open where people lease consoles. I'm surprised that doesn't exist. It's starting to. I think something's going to come up.
Well, so going back to the original story, how do they ship them an Xbox then?
No, you have to find you have to find a store location.
Oh, so like a
for instance,
Best Buy or?
Yeah, for instance, the Westfield Mall in San Francisco has a Microsoft store that'll allow you to participate in this program.
Like a legit Microsoft store.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks like that's the only way to do it.
Okay.
And they have
because I'm sure they have to keep that all internal and make sure that that you don't break the shit. I'm sure there's contract.
Exactly.
Break it, you have to buy it.
Of course.
Just like renting DVDs was,
You'd have to read the fine print, but I mean, I'm sure there's you probably sign some liability thing about breaking. Like if you fully break it, you have to pay some sort.
Yeah, insurance wise and everything. Yeah.
Sure. But I thought that was really interesting. I already own an Xbox, so this doesn't help me. But
yeah, and that's my point. Who here? So comment in the BoomCast comment section if you don't own an Xbox and you still want one. And we're gonna get crickets for that, I think, because I don't think that there's a lot of people that still want an Xbox that don't already have one.
People are also like, I feel like PlayStation's really blowing it out of the park or hitting it out of the park with their exclusive games.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, both companies do it. I think both companies do a good job with their exclusives.
No, Xbox One has like no exclusive games, and when you get them, they're
but Halo.
Okay.
Halo series is one of my favorites.
But that's the only exclusive game that they have that's decent.
Okay, so give me some.
We have The Last of Us. We have God of War on PlayStation. We have Spider-Man. We have
Final Fantasy.
Zero Dawn Horizon or whatever. Zero Horizon Dawn or Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah. No, that's not true. I was gonna say Solid Snake. What's he in? What game is that?
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear, but it's not. And many more to come out, like Death Stranding. That I'm like really excited for that game. I still don't know that much about it, but looks cool.
Yeah,
to me.
So I think that a lot of those games are like a lot of single player kind of games. I think so. When you if you like those kind of games better, then you're gonna want a PS4. But if you're like a Halo guy who likes to play Halo online and play that kind of stuff.
Well, there's a lot of online games you can get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I've always been an Xbox guy. I had a PlayStation 2, and then I switched over after that, and that was it.
Yeah, same
because
here.
of pretty much because of Halo 3. Halo 3, we'll get into that later, but Halo 3 is an all-time number
Great
one
game.
console game for me.
I agree.
And
Call of Duty 4 and Halo 3.
yeah, and so when Halo 3 was big, that's really what got me into Xbox. But everybody has their own stories on why they choose the console they choose.
Yeah.
But
yeah, let's hear about it, guys, in the comments. Let me know. Let us know.
Yeah. What's your console story?
So to kind of come off of what you were talking about this graphics card / CPU as a service kind of thing, we have to talk about Nvidia's releasing their new graphics cards.
Yeah.
And I know you've been wanting to
I was
talk
wondering
about
when you're going to get to that.
And I know that you know a lot about it, so I think that you should... I have a few things that I know about it. It's the 20 series, so 2080s.
Yep.
2060, 2070, 2080, right?
Yep.
They cost the 2080 Ti RTX now, not GTX. I don't know what it stands for. Do you know?
I don't know if that stands for the whole ray tracing thing or not, but I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe you're right. What would GTX stand for then?
Yeah, GeForce maybe.
Yeah.
I know GeForce was part of that somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, and then they have ray tracing, which I have absolutely no idea what that is. But before you school me on all this, I really don't know anything.
Enlighten the audience.
Enlighten the audience. The 2080, which is Ti, which is their highest one, right?
Yep.
Is starting at $1,199.99, and the 2080, not the Ti, is starting at $800, which I think is so expensive.
Yeah, they're pretty ridiculous. And you built me up pretty high here. I don't know if I know everything, but I'm in the market right now to try and upgrade my graphics card, and so I kind of did some research into these, and Nvidia did their whole live stream demo of it when they first announced them, but it was really cool. So the one thing they showed in the demo that was really interesting was the ray tracing aspect that you touched on, and what I was able to take from that was, in standard video games right now, you have a light when you program them, you create light sources around to illuminate areas, and that light source creates a standard shadow, and it's really hard right now, I think, is from what they were explaining, to try and get shadowing to be natural in video games. Yeah, in video games.
I'm sure it is.
And so what the ray tracing does on these graphics cards is it allows you to put the light source in a spot, and it allows, in the graphics card, traces the rays coming from that light source in a live fashion as it's happening. And so they showed the gameplay from one of the games they're coming out with. I can't remember what it was, but you could see the rays moving as the guy moves, and the shadows move really well as these people move through the light in the dark, and they see the shadow in the background. In the game.
Okay.
And it's incredibly interesting because it's such a minute detail to a lot of people who aren't really into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't really care about graphics that much.
No, but it's super interesting to the programming world, I think. But I think that, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot beyond that, but I think it's a big breakthrough in the world of video game making. But the problem is, and the one thing they showed Battlefield 5 gameplay with the ray tracing on, and it shows the light source being the flamethrower gun from the tank, and it shows the rays bouncing down into the puddle and on the ground, and then reflecting up.
Oh shit!
And that's all ray tracing, and it shows the flamethrower reflecting into the window and reflecting the live what's happening in the window.
That's super cool. I'll have to check that
super
video
interesting. Now, but the main problem is that the game developers themselves had to be working with NVIDIA on this, and that's what Battlefield did, and a couple of these other games. But you have to work with them together, and not every game just is on that compatibility just yet, but it's something that in the future will be huge.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about the Battlefield beta or alpha?
I haven't, but I've felt the vibration of hype around it. I'm not a huge Battlefield guy, but a
couple of our friends are playing it. Apparently, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm aware of the hype around that series.
Did you see that it will mess with mess it not in a bad way, but mess with your keyboard, like your keyboard lighting when you launch it?
Really?
Yeah. So it'll if your keyboard has the functionality, which most mechanical keyboards do, especially like Logitech stuff and any of the gaming stuff, it'll take your keys and it'll light a V on the keyboard. As far as I know, that might be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
Like it dims everything and just lights the V up?
A V when you launch, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's super cool. That's super just like whatever, but it's really cool.
Right. Okay, so Trent, let's say you get yourself this $1,200 graphics card.
No, I think I would go just straight 2080.
Okay, fine. Let's say you get yourself... What?
Yeah, I don't think... that's $1,200 is way too much money.
It's too much.
Shit.
It's too much. So let's just say you get yourself this $800 graphics card, you get a new CPU, you get a new rig. What are the top 5 video games that you will be playing with it?
On the computer?
On the computer.
That's another good question. I like these top 5 lists. We'll start at number 5. I don't but see, the thing is, some of these games they're just my favorite games, and they won't change a whole lot. I need to go look at my Steam library. Like the kind of game I
open that up
so I don't omit anything. All right, so coming in at number 5. Number 5, I was a big Overwatch fan, and I still am. It's just I don't play it as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that game's really fun.
Okay, so number 4.
Yeah, number 4, I'm gonna have to roll in with a Civilization 5 specifically.
Civ 5 only.
I haven't gotten into Civ 6 yet. I've heard mixed reviews on it, so I've been hesitant to buy it. But if it gets cheaper on the Steam, if there's ever like a Steam sale or something, I might experiment with it.
Yeah.
But Civ 5 is a great game, wonderful game. I love those kind of strategy games.
Yeah.
If you can get a group of friends together to play, if you can sit down for a quick 4 hours and bang one of those games out.
A quick 4 hours. The Civ,
a quick 4-hour Saturday.
Time loss. You lose time playing that game. You start at noon. You look at your watch, and it's 8:00 p.m. Haven't eaten. Haven't gone to the bathroom.
Oh, you and I did that a few times on the couch on
Maybe
Saturday.
Not 12 to 8. Let's do like 6 to.
I remember one time vividly. We both were on the couch on our laptops, and it was like
our laptops. That was fun.
And we woke up, and I think we ate lunch, and then we came back, and it was like noon or 1, and then it was like 7.
It was probably like a Tuesday too, and we didn't have class.
It was something insane, and no other game does that. You're so like, oh, this is the next turn. I want to go to the next turn because those of you who don't know, it's a turn by turn game, and so you have your turn to make moves, and then you have to wait, and then you make your next turn, and then it's just kind of turn by turn.
Yeah, it's like a real time strategy game. Check it out; it's fun.
Right, and so you really just if you get into it and get locked in, that is the fastest way to kill an hour I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Like 4 hours. Fast way to kill 4 hours.
Oh yeah. Oh, as many hours as you want.
Yeah.
But great game. Anyway, that was number 4. So number 3.
Let's hear it.
Is a good favorite. Is one of my all-time favorites of mine and yours. It's Skyrim.
A great game.
Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Great game. I'm surprised that's not your number 1.
Oh, there's other ones out there.
That'll run so well on a 2080.
And that's the thing. And see, that's why I like it so much. That game will always get better with a better graphics card.
Yeah, and you can get the mods and stuff.
When you and I first played it, we had it on the Xbox 360, right? We had it on the 360.
Mm-hmm.
And so think about how bad the graphics were on that versus bumping it up to what we have now on the PC.
Yeah.
It's like you went from having to open a door to waiting like a minute for the screen to load.
Longer than that. Sometimes like 5 minutes between load
times.
It's
it was actually insane.
Like I could go eat dinner and come back and then it would end and then I'd finally be into the door, into like the house.
Versus now on a standard high-powered PC, it's pretty much loaded before you open the door.
Right. Seriously.
And so that just makes the game all that much better on the PC, and it's an overall fantastic RPG game. And
Agreed.
It's one of the best there ever was. And I'm really hoping that the new Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be just as good.
Yeah.
I have high hopes for it.
I'm sure it will.
It's gonna be a long time before it comes out.
One?
No. So this is not the online one.
I'm thinking Fallout. I'm
ones.
thinking Fallout.
Yeah.
The new Fallout game is going to be all.
So they released a really, really quick teaser. I think it was like E3 or whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
And it was just like the intro. And they said, I think they said, Bethesda said they were working on it, but it's on the back burner compared to some other games.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit a while until it comes out, but I got high hopes for it.
Yeah.
So that's number 3. Number 2, and this is a great game too, and it is Rocket League.
I was gonna say, is this one Rocket League?
This is Rocket League, and this is a game. This is a game I've put countless hours into. One of the games that me and Tommy started with when we first started our computer gaming saga together.
You had been playing it with Kendra.
Yeah.
I was like, for some reason, being weird about getting it. I just was like, no.
Well, that happens. That happens.
And then
but we convinced you.
Thomas, get it.
We convinced you, and now everybody I know plays the game.
Everybody plays it.
And it is, quite frankly, one of the most interesting games to play, and it's one of those games.
To be boring.
It's never boring. We would always, if we ever got pissed at a different game, we'd always just go turn to Rocket League and play a couple rounds of that to get our spirits up.
Calm down.
And it doesn't always work, but it's a great game to just boost your spirits because it's car soccer, man. How do you not like car soccer? I don't understand.
I don't think anybody hates car soccer.
It's a wonderful. Let's see.
Right.
So that's number 2.
Number 1.
Number one overall. The game that I've by far put the most hours into since starting gaming on the PC, and that is League of Legends. And is that a soundboard or is that you in the background?
All me.
Damn. We need a soundboard. Wait, make that note. I want a soundboard for next podcast.
I'm not going to get a soundboard. That's a lot of work. If someone wants to send me a whole soundboard.
I want to look that up, actually. I'm curious how much a soundboard would cost for this.
Oh, yeah. If you get
but I digress. I thoroughly digress from what I was talking about. So League of Legends, game's been out since like 2009, 2008, 2008.
Something like that. It's been around for a while.
2009, October 27th when it came out. So I wasn't one of the people who was from day one playing the game. I knew some people that were playing it. I never really got into it because it's kind of a top-down online base or online. I think it's massive. What's it stand for?
Massive
MOBA.
Massively
that's online.
Warcraft.
No, it's online battle arena, but I don't know what the M stands for. Somebody could help us out with that. Multiplayer battle arena?
Yeah,
probably. No,
that's probably.
I don't know. But in any case, I was skeptical to play it. Your boy Little T was actually playing the game before I was.
That's right.
And my brother actually was playing it too.
And I was trying to get you to play, and then you went.
Yeah, and so it's kind of an inverse situation. Yeah, it was winter break. It was kind of an inverse situation where I was trying to convince him to play Rocket League. He was trying to convince me to play League of Legends. And now it's kind of flip-flopped where he's more into Rocket League and I'm more into League of Legends. But that's different anyway. Yeah. But League of Legends is a great game. It's in my opinion, it's the game that sparked esports as a whole.
Yeah.
I think esports would not be what it is today without League of Legends. If you've ever seen a League of Legends esports broadcast, it is the most professional thing you've ever seen in terms of esports.
You can get a lot of cringe handshakes from those guys.
those broadcasters are very impressive.
They make decent money.
It's incredibly well done by Riot Games.
Yeah.
And they, the game, they've been able to keep the game going since 2009. That's very impressive. And it's kind of, people say it's kind of on a down slump now, but I think they'll be able to go power through it just because they're one of the pioneers. What's that?
They have the clout.
Yeah. They're one of the pioneers of the esports industry, and I don't think they're going to be going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
And it's just an all-time. It's a great game because you can play it. There's so many different ways to play it, and it's always something different. And it's super fun to play with your friends.
Yep.
And the only downfall to it is it's a game. It's one of those games where you get really pissed if you don't win. You know, it's not like Rocket League where you just on to the next one 5 minutes.
Yeah.
These
when you've
like 30
when
to
you've been in the
45
same
minute
game
game.
for 40 minutes and you lose,
Yeah.
it's just like shit.
Yep.
It's
And
true.
that's one of the things. The tilt is real in League of Legends. And that's kind of how we banked back and forth. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna tell you, MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena.
Multiplayer online. Okay, so we were pretty close.
You were close. I had no idea what you were saying. So
I don't know what I'm saying either. So that's
no,
fine.
I mean like you were the So League of Legends. All right.
Yeah,
It's a good list.
it's a great
It's
list.
a good list. I like it. All right, guys, let us know your top 5 favorite games, console or computer or otherwise.
Yeah, computer or otherwise, it doesn't matter.
And to leave the audience with a question, which Trent you can answer real quick as well. If you had to choose Xbox, PlayStation, or computer, and you had to stick with that the rest of your life, what would you choose? Is this unfair? Would everybody pick computer?
I would, and you'd have to
good.
factor in money, you know, because it's easier for kids or somebody who doesn't have a lot of money to just buy a console.
Right.
But PC, you gotta keep it upgraded, all that yada
Let's
yada.
just pretend it's a perfect world and it auto updates itself.
Okay, money's not an object. Do you like the console versus the PC?
I don't know. Yeah, there's probably some diehard console fans, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, well, the controller, and you can use the controller on the PC for a lot of stuff, but there are those games like for someone like me, before Rocket League and League of Legends, I would have told you I'm a console person because all the games that I played were Halo 3 and Madden and NBA and all those games that are really console games. So, but now I'm sitting here today, and I'll tell you that PC is the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because money no object. It's still PC.
Yeah.
Because the graphics are always going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just and that's the thing. You can't just upgrade your Xbox's graphics driver whenever you want. You have to buy the new console whenever they put a new graphics driver in the new console.
Right.
And that's expensive. With the PC, you just do it whenever you feel like. Whenever it gets to the point, and there always is this point where you buy the top of the line graphics card, and then a year later, all these new games come out, and the new graphics cards come out with them, and your graphics card becomes a little bit obsolete when you're trying to play those new games. So, just the customizability 100%. Of it. It's all. That's kind of my take on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, to little quick shot, we got Lego built a life-size Bugatti out of 1 million pieces. Took 13,000 hours. Excuse me.
Whistle noise.
What's that?
Whistle noise.
Xbox introduced Xbox All Access. I guess I should say Microsoft introduced Xbox All Access. You can rent a console and over 100 games. 100 games not all at the same time, however, but you have the option to play them. And
I would play all 100 games at the same time if I was doing that.
You get like 100 TVs and 100 consoles.
Yep. Nope.
Cool.
PIP, picture in picture, 100 times.
Oh,
over.
Gotcha. Yeah. And Nvidia released their newest graphics cards, the RTXs 20, the 20 series. So that's pretty interesting. Those are going to be expensive. Games are going to start. I'm not going to be able to play games soon. I have a GTX 960, so
you're going to have to upgrade just like I am, buddy.
A little behind. But yeah, so that's episode 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. Trent,
it was a pleasure having you.
Any final words from Big T?
Just to reiterate, we appreciate you guys listening. It's a pleasure to have you guys in our home. We invite you in like this, and we really just let you think.
That's
so
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, use our fun facts this weekend. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.